Welcome to Royle Subjects, your go-to podcast for anyone trying to navigate the ever-changing world of real estate.
Come with us as we explore topics that are always relevant, never boring, and designed with you in mind. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Sarah.
And today's topic is open houses.
Talking about the value of going to them, whether you're an active home buyer or perhaps teetering on the fence a little bit as to whether or not you want to pursue a purchase right now. Open houses used to be a very popular way of going and taking a look at a home. We took a pause for a few years. I think you might know why.
External factors.
Yeah. But they are now back in full swing, and especially on nicer days this summer, the Saturday, this Sunday afternoon, really great time to go out and take a look at a home. So today we want to talk about why you would want to go to an open house for our active buyers and for our tentative buyers.
Okay, so reason number one, open houses are essentially the real estate version of window shopping. You get to go around, you get to look, but you don't have to make a purchase, and you don't have to commit to anything.
Well, and we know that real estate is the great Canadian pastime. Raise your hand if you've ever scrolled on Realtor.ca when you had absolutely zero intentions of making a purchase anytime soon. Right? Like, everybody does it. And so I think the value of an open house is, instead of just scrolling online and looking at these nicely curated photos and reading these descriptions, you can actually go in person and see how a home looks, how a home feels, how a home smells, and see how that stacks up to what's on the written or photo description.
Because photographers are amazing and they do a great job playing with natural light and making a property look its best.
Yep.
But sometimes, the photos can be a bit deceiving.
Yeah.
The other nice thing about going and seeing them in person is you can get a feel for the neighborhood and what the other houses nearby look like. Is this the nicest house in the street? Is it the not so nicest house on the street?
I also think that's a really great idea that if you have a home in your neighborhood that is for sale, go and take a look. See how it stacks up compared to yours, because there might be a similar layout or a similar design element that you could implement in your home that could increase the value of yours down the road.
Yeah, and speaking of value, that is the benefit of going and seeing them in person, is one, you get to check out the neighborhood like we talked about, you get to window shop, but you also get to understand what can I buy that is in the $400 price range or the $500 price range. If you're looking to find out what is going to be in your realm in the next year or a couple of years, then shopping in your price category gives you a really good idea of what to expect, so that when you actually click that check mark, let's go shopping button, you're not underwhelmed by the options.
Yeah, or alternatively overwhelmed and thinking, oh man, I thought I could afford to live in this neighborhood, and realistically, unfortunately, the price point doesn't line up with your personal finances. So I think it's really good to not so much, dangle the carrot in front of your own face, but to go and take a look and understand, what does X dollars get you in X neighborhood? Or, where can you change your perspective? Where can you change your finances so that when you are ready, like Danielle said, to, pull the trigger and make that jump into actual, making a purchase, you're prepared mentally, right? Because we know how much those psychological factors can play a role. So kind of getting your head around it now, as opposed to once you're actively in the home buying process, is always a great idea.
And people dangle the carrot in front of the horse to make it walk faster. So if you dangling the carrot of what you could possibly own and have be yours is going to work to motivate you to save a little more or make those changes or whatever it may be to get you into home ownership, then dangling a carrot is not necessarily always a bad thing.
Yeah. I think the other benefit to going to an open house is it gives you a very realistic perspective of how popular certain homes are at certain price points. Because when you are in the active home buying process, you may go into an open house, there's a ton of people, and then you're getting notices that afternoon that offers have been registered. Are you ready to respond? And that can be a really stressful situation for buyers to say, oh no, we weren't ready to make a purchase. We were just going to look at it. And so it kind of gives you an idea as to, just how popular certain homes in certain price ranges can be and what the immediate action might be required of you. Because again, if you're just casually browsing, that's fine, but just kind of giving yourself that emotional head and mental heads up for what you might encounter in the actual space.
And then the third thing that I think of when I think of why I would want to go to open houses is to meet agents. If you don't have an agent that you're already committed to working with or that you want to work with going forward, an open house is a really great way to meet someone and see if you connect, right? You can say, oh, I've lived in this area for a while. I think of such and such's name when I think about real estate, so I'm going to work with them. But then you go to an open house and maybe they don't connect with you, or, you don't have the same personality. Again, it's like window shopping for the person that you're going to work with one of the biggest purchases of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when you think of a real estate transaction, perhaps there's a realtor that your friends or family have recommended. Perfect. Go and work with them. Maybe there's a brokerage that you're most familiar with because you've either heard it on the radio or you live down the street from it, or whatever the case may be. And then you just, you make a phone call and you get matched up with a random agent. And that's definitely happened to us before. We've hit it off really well with some of those clients, and it's been a really great experience. I said this to my clients just last week. I said, oh, you know what? For somebody that you met on the internet, I'm glad this worked out so well together. And that's definitely the reality. And then I've got other clients who I've met at open houses, and same thing, you hit it off really well. And it's a nice way to see someone in person, right? Like I feel like there's an element kind of like blind dating, right? You just sort of show up and hope for the best when you meet a new realtor. But meeting them out in person at an open house is a little bit more of a casual environment. And, it's really great. I mean, when we're hosting an open house, for people to come and interact. I posted something recently in my stories about, if you go to an open house, would you rather somebody give you a guided tour, or would you let them, would you prefer to have us, leave you be and let you explore on your own? It's about a 50-50 split, which is kind of funny. But it's always nice to chat with people, and, whether you're a neighbor or you're an active home buyer, having those conversations in person, in real life, in those homes can be really beneficial for both parties. One of the other benefits of going and looking at local open houses is that if you are unless you're a first-time home buyer, chances are if you're preparing to make a purchase, you're also going to be having to make a sale at some point. So it's a really great idea to go and check out these open houses to see how a potential agent who could be selling your home would be working to sell another home, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of getting a preview of what is their work ethic, what is their marketing, what kind of steps are they taking to make sure that that listing is being sold? Because that's what I want to know, right? Mm-hmm. If someone's going to be representing me, what is it that they're doing? So I think that's a really great way to, similar to, meeting a realtor in real life, just getting a sneak peek at how they operate their business. What sort of things are they doing to make sure that the house gets sold?
Because an open house is just one of many marketing materials that agents use to get your house out there.
Yeah. And one of the things that I really love about the Royle Group is that we work together, right? So if I have a listing and I've got something else going on that day, or I'm with other clients, you'll step in, you'll host an open house, maybe Elliot's going to host, maybe Ben's going to host. And it's really great because, and that's something that you can see, again, in real life, like, oh, it's not Sarah's listing, but I'm the one that's hosting the open house. Why? Because we're a collaborative group. And when you hire one of us, you hire all of us, and you've got the full support of an entire team helping you through that process to make sure that your house is sold. So another really great thing about seeing an open house in real life.
Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking about going to an open house and you have hesitancies, maybe reframe it. Think about it as window shopping, getting an idea of what the realtor that you might want to work with in the future is, and learning a little bit more about the housing market, whether you're actively shopping or just considering it. Mm-hmm. I hope we've provided some value to you, and maybe we'll see you at our next open house.
Yeah, come by. You never know what you might find, and it could be the right one after all.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Sarah.
And we can't wait to talk to you next week. If you have any questions regarding real estate, please feel free to reach out at our website, theroylegroup.ca, or The Royle Group on any social media platforms.
See you around.